Hello everybody. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to crochet the Jacob's ladder stitch. It can be done in many different ways. So I'm going to show you the way that I usually do it. In the process of me showing you, I did make a placemat here. I'm trying to get some Christmas gifts out of the way. But I'll give you the multiple of the stitch. And you can make it any size that you like and use it for any project that you'd like. All right. But that's kind of what it looks like on the top, and then the underside, the back side. This one's made with 2 colors. Of course, you can make the Jacob's ladder with as many colors as you'd like. All right, and it's actually very, very easy. If you know how to double crochet and chain stitch, you will be able to make this. Now remember, I made a placemat, but I'm just showing you how to do the Jacob's ladder. I mean, I'll show you how to make this, but in turn, it's going to show you how to do the Jacob's ladder. This particular piece is 15 inches wide and 18.5 inches long. All right, so yeah, that's what it kind of looks like when it's done. 2 colors. It's pretty. I like it. I think it's going to make a nice gift, or whatever you make with it, it'll be beautiful as well. All right, for that particular piece there that you see, I used Mary Maxim Mellow Spun DK. It's a 100% acrylic 3-weight yarn, and there are 284 yards or 260 meters per ball, and it took about 200 yards of each color of this one. Color is called Bark, and then I used this one here. It took about the same amount, about 200 yards, and this one is Garnet. All right, same yarns. And then I'm going to be using a size app, which is a 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. Now, depending on what you want to use this stitch for, you can use any yarn and any hook. It makes beautiful blankets, scarves, tops, household, anything that you want to make with it. It makes it beautiful. And like I said, it's very easy. So grab that hook. Let's get started. All right, so the stitch is done in a multiple of 7 plus 1. So whatever it is you're making, you need to make your chain as long as you want it to be in a multiple of 7, and then you add 1 more to your base chain. Now I'm going to show you on a smaller scale, but if you want to make there what I made, I started with a chain of 71 for that particular project, but remember, you can make anything you want with this stitch. All right, so once you get your multiple of 7 plus 1, we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet in the second stitch from our hook. So this is row 1. It is not a base row. This actually does count as a row. So we single crochet in the second chain from our hook, and then we're going to work 1 single crochet into every single stitch of the chain until we make it to the end of row 1. All right, once you make it to the end of row 1, you should have 1 less stitch than what you chained. Since I started with a chain of 71, I'll have 70 stitches now. Now we're going to go ahead and start row 2. And then row 2 is going to be our first row of loops. And the very first row of loops is done differently than any of the other loops, all right? It's not a repeat row, it's just the first row of loops, and it's just different than all the other ones. So we're going to go ahead and start by chaining 1, which does not count as a stitch, and we're going to turn our work. We're going to put a single crochet right there into that very first stitch. And then we're going to put a single crochet into the next stitch. Now what we're going to do is we are going to skip 1 stitch. We're not going to chain or anything. We're just going to skip 1 stitch and single crochet into the next. So we skip one and single crochet into the next. Now we're going to make our first loop by chaining 10. And then we're going to come back down and we're going to single crochet back into that very same stitch. Just like that. And we're going to start the repeat of row 2. So we're going to skip the next stitch, skip that stitch, and we're going to put a single crochet into the next 4. So we skip one and single crochet into the next 4. That. Now we're going to do our loop again. We're going to skip one stitch and single crochet into the next and chain 10. And then we're going to come back down and single crochet back into that very same stitch. Just like that. And then we're going to repeat it again. So we are going to skip the next stitch and single crochet into the next 4. So we're skipping this one and single crochet into the next 4. And then we're going to do our loop. We are going to skip one and single crochet into the next, chain 10, and then come back down and single crochet back into that very same stitch. So we're going to repeat this pattern until we get to the last 3 stitches of our row. So we skip one and single crochet again into the next 4. Skip one, single crochet into the next. This is going to be our loop, chain 10, come back down and single crochet in the same one and repeat. So I'll meet back up with you when we have 3 stitches left. Alright, so I've come to the end of row 2 and I have 3 stitches left. I just did a loop right here and I have 3 left. So I'm going to skip one and I'm going to single crochet in the last 2, but I'm going to switch colors on the last one. So I'm going to skip one, single crochet into the next, and I'm going to single crochet in the last one, but I'm going to do a color change here. So I'm going to go into the last stitch, and I'm going to draw up a loop. I'm actually going to clip my yarn every time I do a color change. It's just easier for me to crochet the tail end than it is to try to carry it up the side. Plus it's cleaner. Now I'm going to pull in my new color like this, and this is the only time that you'll have to do this. Take the tail of your new color and the tail that of the one that you just clipped off. Tie a little knot in it so it don't slip away, you know. Okay. Alright, so that ends row 2, and now we're going to start row 3. So rows 3 and 4 are actually the repeat rows, so you keep repeating rows 3 and 4 for however big you want your piece. In the piece that I did, I changed colors, after every row 3 and 4 repeat. So we're going to go ahead and start off row 3 by chaining 1 and turning our work. So I'm just going to go ahead and carry these along and crochet them in as I go. So we're going to do a row of double crochet. So that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So we're going to do a double crochet into the very first stitch. And then a double crochet into the next stitch. And then a double crochet into the next one. And if you look closely, it's the single crochet that's part of the chain there. So go right into that single crochet there. Double crochet. So you'll have 3 double crochets on this side at the beginning here. All right. And then you can move that loop out of the way. And we're going to single crochet, or double crochet, I'm sorry, into every stitch. So the first one goes into the single crochet here, which is the other part of the chain, or the loop. And double crochet in each of the single crochets. So from now on you'll have 6 double crochets between the loops. All right, don't forget the one that the loop is attached to. So see that I got 6 doubles right there. And 3 on the others, 3 to start. All right, and then you can move that loop over and continue along. Double crochet in every stitch, and again, don't forget the single crochet that the loop is attached to. You'll have 6 doubles on this side, 6 doubles in between each set of loops. And there's my 6 doubles. Push the loop out of the way and repeat. So we're going to go ahead and repeat this until we get to the last loop of row 3. All right, I'm coming to the end of row 3. Here's my last loop, and you'll have 3 double crochets on this end. So you start with 3 doubles, you end with 3 doubles, and then there's 6 doubles in between each of your loops. All right. And there's 1, 2, and 3, and that ends row 3. And now we can go ahead and start row 4. Row 4 is the loop row, and this is the loop row that we repeat every time now. Row 4, and row 4 is the final row of the repeat, rows 3 and 4. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We are going to put a single crochet into the very first stitch, single crochet into the next stitch. Now we need to do our loop. So our loop is worked over 2 double crochets, and you could kind of see the little spots where the loops are made. So it's the double crochet on this side of the space here. You can see the loop from the previous row there. and the double crochet here, and the same here, here and here. So you see a little bit of a space there. That's where the loops are made. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to single crochet into the next double crochet, chain 10, like that, and then we're going to come back down and we're going to single crochet into the next double crochet. And that's how our loops are made, just like that. And now we are going to single crochet across into the next 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And these next 2 here is where we have to put a loop. So we're going to single crochet into that, the next one, chain 10, and then we're going to come back down and single crochet into the next double crochet, and that created our next loop. And if you look carefully here in between the loops, if you count the single crochet of this loop and this, then the 4 single crochet that we just made and the single crochet of this loop, we'll have 6 total. Just like we had 6 doubles, we'll have 6 singles. And then we repeat. So this would be our first single, and then we're going to single on the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we would need to make a loop right here, so we would single crochet in this one. So if you counted this one and then this one on the loop and the 4 we just did, that's 6 single crochets. Now we're going to chain 10 to make our loop. Come back down and single crochet into the next. And this is what we're going to repeat all the way across. Until we make it near the end of the row. Single crochet again up until we get to the space where we need to do our next loop, which is right here. So it's going to be 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the loop is made in the next 2, so we single crochet into the next, chain 10, come back down and single crochet into the next double. Just like that. Single crochet into the next 4. And then you could see that here's our last loop right here over these 2. So we single crochet into the next one, chain 10, single crochet into the next double, and then you should have 2 more that remain. I'm going to single crochet into those last 2, and I am going to just tie that color off like that, and then I'm going to, that's it, I'm going to clip them tails here. Now I'm going to go back to my red, and I'm going to repeat these 2 rows for however big I want my project to be. So for row 5, I'm just going to repeat row 3, which is the double crochet row. I'm going to start in a single crochet here. I'm just going to hide these tails as I go. Remember, I'm just repeating row 3. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Throw those tails over so I can carry them along with me. And I'm going to be double crocheting into every stitch. So double crocheting that first one. So you should have 3 here at the beginning of the first loop. And then you can kind of just move the loops out of the way. And remember, you'll have 6 in between the loops. Don't forget the single crochet that the loop's attached to. And see those 2 stitches right here? That's where we're going to put our loop on the next row. Work across, putting double crochets, just repeating row 3. So we're just going to keep repeating rows 3 and 4, doing the double crochet row and then the loop row until you get it as big as you want it to be. And remember, you'll have 6 doubles in between your loops. Push them down. Just like that. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to switch colors every 2 rows. You switch colors as often as you like and as many times as you like. And I'm going to continue this, and I'll let you know how many total rows I do for the piece that you saw. But remember, you don't have to make what I made. I'm just kind of teaching you how to do the stitch like that. And then row 4 will be a repeat, or row 6 will be a repeat of row 4 where we do the loop row again. All right, I'll see you in a second. All right, so I have done a total, just for this piece here, of 26 rows of just the loops. So if you count the loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, if you just count the loops, there'll be 26. And then after the 26 loop row up here, I went ahead and did the, I changed colors back to my red, and I did the row of double crochet in red. And then, you know, after that you would do the loop row in red. But we're not going to do that right now, but don't tie off, all right? So we're going to finish it off. But don't tie this off, keep this on here. Just don't do the single crochet row yet. So what you want to do once you get your piece, whatever you're making, as big as you want it to be, if you're not making, we're not making, is now we have to take these loops and we have to connect them, all right? So what you do is you take the one on the bottom, okay, you take the one on the bottom, and then the one next to it, and you pull the one that's above it, pull it through the one on the bottom, like that. And then the one above that one, pull it through. And then the one above that one, pull it through. So we're just pulling them through, the top one, pulling it through the one right below it. Make sure that your loops aren't twisted or anything. And you just keep doing this all the way up and all the way across. Some people use a crochet hook to do this, and you can do that too. And then when you do that, it's just kind of like chaining. You stick your hook through that one and pull it through like that, and then you go to the next one, pull it through like that. And some people find that to be easier. It's really up to you. You could do it either way, with your fingers like I'm doing, or with the crochet hook. But remember, it's the one from the behind goes through the one that's in front, and then that becomes the front one. And then you grab the one from behind and it goes through the one that's in front, and now that one's the front one. The one from behind goes through, and now it becomes the front one. Now you want to do that all the way up, but we will leave the very last row of loops. Well, you go through the last one, but then it'll be hanging there by itself, all right? That's when we'll come back and reattach our yarn and finish that out. But we want to go ahead and do this all the way up the top, all the way, every row. No matter how big you made your piece, we need every row to connect like this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get done with that. All right, so I got mine all together, except for you can see the top loop there is still hanging out by himself here. So we're going to take care of him right now. So we're going to pick up where we left off. Make sure he's in that last loop. He's got to be connected still. All right. We're going to pick up where we left off here. And remember, we had that row of double crochet at the top and we didn't tie off. We're going to chain one, and we're going to turn our work. So we'll be on the back side of our work. Okay. We are going to do a single crochet into the very first stitch. That chain one does not count as a stitch. And we're going to single crochet into the next stitch. Now, over these next two stitches where we would normally put a loop, we're going to attach this guy. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the next stitch, we're going to single crochet, but we're going to go in to it like this, and we're going to grab this guy right here. Always make sure he's still attached to that last one. Go into him like that, and then single crochet him there like that. And then we're going to do a chain of one, and then we're going to go into the very next stitch and single crochet, but we're going to grab that guy again. So he gets two single crochets there, and single crochet like that. So what we did was we did a single crochet where that loop normally would be. We did a single crochet, a chain one, and a single crochet, and that should hold that guy into place. And this is what we're going to do all the way across. So let's single crochet up to where we would normally put our next loop, which is right here where you can see. And we have to attach this guy with these two stitches. All right, so let's go ahead and single crochet one time into that, up to that spot. All right, here it is. So pull your work, make sure that guy is attached to that last loop, and we need to go in him into the single crochet that would normally start the loop, or into this double. We're going to single crochet to where it would normally start the loop, but we're going to grab this loop too and put our hook through it and single crochet, chain one, and then we're going to go into the next stitch over here where it would end the other part of our loop normally. Go into it and go back into the same loop again, and single crochet. So again, that was a single, chain one, a single, and that holds that last loop down. And remember to put that chain one there because it's important for the next row. Because remember down here when we started, we lost a few stitches when we started doing the loops. We're going to gain them back, all right? So that chain one's very important. Now we're going to continue this all the way across until all our loops are secure. All right, I'm at my 2 double crochets here where I would normally put my loop. Let me grab my loop here. There he is. Let's single crochet him down. All right, so we go into the first double crochet and into that loop, without splitting your yarn. Single crochet, chain one, don't forget that chain one, and then the next double, go into that one and into the same loop and single crochet, just like that. All right, so we're going to do this all the way across to secure all of these loops. Just remember to always check first and make sure that, you know, he didn't pop out of that last loop. Otherwise you'll get it all done, you'll have a loop hanging. It's happened to me. It's not cool. So always learn to look first. All right, I'll see you at the end of this row, okay? All right, I've made it to the end of that. So all my guys are attached up there. Didn't lose any. All right, I'm gonna keep this color on my hook. Chain one. I'm gonna turn my work. So now we'll be on the front side. And we're going to do another row of single crochet. So we're going to work a single crochet into every stitch, and we're going to work one into that chain one space. So there's single crochet in 2, and then there's the first one that's attaching that loop, and then that chain one. Just go right through it, like, don't go into the loop. The chain one that's right above it that we made in between the singles, single crochet there, and the other single crochet that's holding that loop down, just like that. And we're going to do this all the way across until we make it to the end of the row. Show you one more time up here. So when we get to these stitches here holding this loop down, single crochet into the first one, and then in between them is that chain one, so go right in between them, single crochet, and then into the last one that's holding that loop down, just like that, and then to single crochet in each one up to your next loop, and then we repeat. So I'll meet back up with you at the end of this row. All right, I come to the end of this row, and I'm going to switch colors here at the last single crochet back to the other color that I was using. All right, so I'm going to chain one, turn my work. Now with this color, I'm going to do a row of single crochet as well. This over here, sorry, so I can hide my tail as I go. So I just chained one, and I'm going to go back into that very first stitch and single crochet, and I'm working on the back side now. I'm going to work one single crochet in every stitch across until I make it to the end of the row. All right, I made it to the end, and I'm going to do chain 1, turn my work, and do one more row of single crochet here at the top of this color. So chain 1 and turn. Now I'm going to be working on the front of my work, and this will be the last row up here, and then I'll have to go down and work on the other side. So I'm working one more row of 1 single crochet into every stitch until I get to the end of the row. When I make it to the end, I will just tie off and hide my tails, and then I'll see you at the other side, or down here at the bottom. Okay, so I got that done up there. Now I'm just going to do the same thing down here at the bottom. 2 rows of single crochet in that color, but we need to start the first row on the back side. All right, so go ahead and start in the first stitch down here. Oh, got the wrong hook. And pull your yarn through, chain 1, and then go back in that same stitch and single crochet. And then we're just going to work across, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. Should have 70 stitches. And then when you make it to the end of the row, we're just going to chain 1 and turn and do another row in the same color of single crochet to match this side down here. So it'll be 2 rows of single crochet. Your other row you should end on the front side of your work. All right, there you go. There you have the Jacob's ladder stitch. So whatever you decide to make with this, I'm certain that it will be beautiful. And I know I'd like to see a picture of it. You can post a picture on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page. I'd love to see what you made and all the colors that you chose. There's a link to that below in the description box. Remember, this really does make some beautiful, beautiful projects, and you've seen how easy it is to do. So I like it. I think that it's gorgeous. Turned out nice, and yours will turn out wonderful as well. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and consider subscribing. And check out all my other tutorials. I have a whole bunch of them. All right, I'll see you guys on my next video. Take care. Bye bye.